Hi, I'm doing Paul McWhorters's Pico W lessons, and we're up to lesson number 41, and it's when he wanted us to find out the angle of inclination that the MPU6050 is at, and he gave us a small hint that we ought to be using trig because he's been doing trig before. Now, I thought to myself, right, we would need the angle, and the values that are coming from the MPU6050 are two of the sides, an X and Y. And if you're using Z as well, I thought they're all at right angles, so all the values of forces, what do you call it, a force? Well, anyway, the values of X, Y and Z are at right angles to each other, which makes me think you definitely want to use tan. So I'm using tan. Now, when I was using it, if you use tan 2, it says from math import tan a tan 2, which is inverse of tan 2. It actually copes very well with having the angles in the four quadrants. It won't fall over like I think tan would if you turn it upside down, but who knows. Anyway, this is my program, very simple. I'm just getting the values and printing them out. Ignore that bit for the time being. So if we run this, right, ignore the yaw for the time being. Now that pitch, oh, that's roll. If it comes towards me, roll goes up. If it goes away from me, roll goes down to about, oh, I've turned it more than 90 degrees. Now pitch is that way, pitch is that way. Now yaw, really what I wanted to do, I thought yaw was kind of meant to be if you're twisting it. But if you look at that number, it's total nonsense. So we'll stop that for the time being. And now that is because you cannot measure. I don't know what X over Y, the inverse tan of that is, but it, you can't do it with an MPU 6050 because it's, for some strange reason, it's a cumulative value. I don't understand. But if I wanted to get the direction that it's pointing in, I would need to use an magnetometer. Now I have a magnetometer, but unfortunately I think it will only work using an Arduino, and what I could have done was connected it up to the Arduino and then got the values and passed it back to the Pico, but who could be bothered? So I'm faking it. I am just pretending that this is the yaw. This is how you pronounce it in English. I don't know how you pronounce it in American. So if we just take out the reading and delete those lines, this is just taking the yaw from in fact, I start from 0, then I go from up to 90 and back to 90. So we'll just run that. So, hello fake yaw. Roll is okay, pitch is okay, but yaw is fake. But I just did that to demonstrate something that I'm going to be doing. So we will get out of there. Now, I've got another program here. No, there. That is the same thing ish. Only it's I'm using my Pico as a server to give the values to something else. So it connects, it does everything. I've taken out the or I could have taken out print server ready, because of course it isn't printing to anything. Right, so if we save that onto my Pico file, save as. Oh, I've got a main.py. Oh, all right, okay. Main.py, I've probably already done this before. Main.py. Do I want to overwrite it? Probably. Okay. So if I unplug this from Thonny, my computer, and I plug it in again to, this is power only, it's a power only cable, so I know how it's doing. Right, that ought to be running, but we will see in a minute. Then I need to plug in my other Pico, right, and that's on COM5, right, and I've got a program that I'm going to be running on here. Now this is using 3 servos, and what I'm doing is I'm wanting to display the yaw, the pitch and the roll. And so what it does, I've set the maximum, I can make the pitch vary between 90 and -90, or I could put any values in there, but for this exercise I've used 90. Now I'm using Pico 0 for the servo, and if you just put in that pulse width for the min and the max, then that will mean that the servo will go from 0 to 180 degrees. That is just connecting to the server. This all could go horribly wrong, of course. Right, I'm just sending a command to the server, not servo. It could be anything apart from stop, because that would make it stop. And then I'm just getting the values back and I'm putting them into the servos. Right, keep your fingers crossed. This might go terribly wrong. Right, we will. Right, something's happening. Right, that little plane, if you can see, is the yaw. Sorry, the sun's shining straight on it. Ah, that's better. If I get in the way, you'll be able to see better. That's the yaw. Now, the spirit level is not doing anything apart from holding down the wires. Now, if I tip that up, that little plane, whoops, which is hitting that spirit level, I'll move that slightly, that little plane is the pitch. Now, this little plane we haven't looked at yet is the tilt. Hurrah! Hurrah! Everything is working perfectly well. Right, I will stop that program because we've seen enough and the noise is annoying me. Oh, and it tells you the pitch and roll and whatever. Now, you may say to yourself, what on earth is the use of that? Oh, I would just mention something. When I get the data in from the other Pico, I split it into the pitch, roll and yaw, and then I make sure that the values are within the values that I've set. So maybe I wouldn't want the little plane to dip as far as 90 degrees, so I could actually change that value, that value, but I've got them all at 90. So I make it so if I'm only allowing it to go 60 degrees forward, down or up, I make it so it's on the value, on the cusp of it. So if it's less than minus 90, I make it 90. Right? Does that make any sense at all? Probably not. Now, with using Pico 0 for the servo, the values for the servo are between 0 and 1. So it's very easy. You just take the bottom and top limit and the pitch, and you can work out exactly what the value is between 0 and 1. And then I could have done that, those 3 lines, those 3 lines, and those 3 lines. I would normally do it in a using an array, but I thought I'd leave it like that because it looks easier for people to follow, if you're still watching, that is. Now, why would you want to do this? Because to have 3 little planes flying around, and one can only go round and round, and the other one can only go up and down, and the only other one can go side to side, is pretty silly. So if we look at this, this is a pan tilt thing, and it only does pan tilt, and I thought I could use it. I don't have one yet. I have one on my camera, my Raspberry Pi camera, and I thought I could take it to pieces, and I thought, no, don't do that, that would be very dangerous. So my plan is, when it arrives, is I've already got 2 servos in there, and I just need to put an extra one in. Now at the bottom, that is the pan. Now pan for this equals the yaw. This is why I needed it, because otherwise I couldn't have used my servo. And then up, oh sorry, then the servo here is and that goes round and round, that goes up and down. So the up and down is the tilt, and that's the pitch. So all I have to do is put my own servo up there, which is the roll, which will go, well, like it rolls from dooby-doo. So the wings go down and up and down and up. And there you have it. You can have your nice little plane on top of there. But if you don't want to do that, you can also use your MPU6050 to control a camera yourself, rather than having to use other people's software. And do I have anything more to say? No, but I thought it was a fun idea. Hope you like it.